Okay, so now you have your wonderfully formatted scatter plot, and now you want to add a line of regression to your data. So I'm using my roller coaster example here as a demo. So there's two ways I'm going to show you how to do it. The first way is going to be the simplest one, and then I'll show you another way, which uses a little bit of programming, but it's really quite simple as well. So the first thing you want to do is, have your completed scatter plot right here in front of you, and just left click it to select it. And over here at the three periods, left click that and click Edit Chart. Okay, and it's going to open up the chart editor bar here on the right-hand side. Click Customize. And then you want to go to the series option here on this sidebar. Left click that to expand it. And if you scroll down, there are these three checkboxes. The third one is called a trend line. So we're going to add a trend line, or the trend in the data. So if you left click that, it brings up some more options. And the one that we're interested in is we want a linear type trend line. We could change it to something like polynomial or power series, right? But we're interested in a line of regression, a linear regression. So make that linear. And let's see here, line thickness. Yeah, we can kind of leave that alone. Now, so we've got our line of regression added, but what is the equation for the line of regression? Right here where it says label and none, left click that and put use equation. And what you'll see show up is it'll create a legend, which we'll have to remove, by the way. But right here, it's giving us the equation for the line of regression. So for me, my line of regression is y equals 0.241x plus 25.5. So that's my slope, and this is my y-intercept. And you can see also that it's kind of rounding, so that might cause a problem. But at least this kind of gives you what the slope and the y-intercept are. Okay. At this point, you can go ahead and record that, and then you can get rid of it just by left clicking and choosing none. But we want to leave the line of regression behind. Notice that the legend is still present. So what we want to do is go to this legend option, and let's see here, I think under position, put none, and that'll make it disappear again. Okay. So this is how you can add your line of regression and see the equation for that line of regression. So that's one way. The other way is to use a spreadsheet function. So let's go ahead and close the chart editor. So I'm going to hit X. And I'm going to click over here off to the side, because this is where I'm going to put, I'm going to actually execute a spreadsheet function. So in order to start a function, you have to type in equals. And we want to do a linear regression. So I'm going to start typing out the word line. And so I typed in LIN, and you can see one of the functions that it brought up is this one called linest or linest. This is a best fit linear trend via least squares. So this is the one that you want. So we'll left click that. And now it wants two arguments. The first argument it wants is the y values. Okay, the y values. So for me, the y values, or the values on the vertical axis, were from my speed random variable. So I'm going to click here at the first row of my speed data and just drag on down. You can see how it's changing in cell J2 as I drag down. I'm just going to keep going all the way down to the very last row of data that I've got. So I'm going from D2 down to, it should be D242. There we go, right there. So it's going from D2 to D242. Now I'm going to scroll back up to the top again. So that's the first argument for this function is the column of y values. Now if I put in a comma, now it wants the column of x values. So I'll do the same thing. So for me, the x values are this vertical height random variable, which is this column, column E for me. So I'm going to left click here, scroll down, and just go all the way down to E242. Now I could type this in also, but I'm just doing it this way so that you can see that I'm including all of the data in my data set. Okay, now I'm going to let go. And I can scroll back up to the top. Okay, so here is the function that we've typed in so far. So equals line st parentheses, and then the range of y values, comma, then the range of x values, and then right parentheses to end it. And then if we hit enter, it gives us two values. This first value is the slope of the line of regression. And the second value is the y-intercept of the line of regression. All right. And you can see this 0.241 and 25.5 were the same values that I had over here. Let me bring this back up. If I go to customize series and under label, if I put use equation, you see there 0.241 is the slope and 25.5 is the y-intercept. So here is the slope and here's the y-intercept. So yeah, you can see that the y-intercept, it went ahead and rounded to the first decimal place. But if I use this function, I get a few more decimal places of accuracy. So you might need that. Anyhow, here are two different ways that you can use to get the equation for the line of regression and add the line of regression to your scatter plot.